Okay. Welcome you guys and everybody to the 2024 Adult 18 and Over District Championship Captains Meeting. I want to say thank you all for captaining and organizing your teams and getting everybody out there to play. We appreciate it, and we could not do it without you. And we really do know that it's a lot of hard work. We know it's thankless sometimes. So we hope that your district championship this weekend will be a lot of fun and exciting, and there'll be great tennis. So I just want to give everybody just some information about this weekend. If anybody has questions, feel free to ask. We've got several of the local league coordinators on the call, so we're all around. We can answer any of the questions, and just come off mute and ask or raise your hand anytime. So I'm going to go ahead and present the PowerPoint, and we'll get started here. Okay. Can everybody see the blue screen?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so every time I do that, it also means I can't see you guys. So make sure you just let us know if you have a question. So like I said, this is the 2024 Adult 18 and Over District Championship Captains Meeting. Welcome. I always throw in the USTA National League Championship calendar. This year, the championships are compressed into 4 weekends for the nationals. So the adult 18 and over looks like all is the weekend of October 18th through 20th in a couple of different locations. You have a link to that also when I send out this PowerPoint. You have this, and then there's also a hyperlink to the calendar. Oh, I forgot to change the date on this. I'll change the date before I send it out. Sorry about that. So your tournament directors for this weekend are in the Blue District, which is Eastern Mass, is Pete Shutter. I'll also be hanging out in the Blue District this weekend. In the Green District, Laura Jocelyn King is your tournament director. In red, it's Charlie Michaelman. And white, for the first time ever, Esther Aronson and Anne Marie will be the tournament directors there. So you have their email addresses if you have any questions. I'll throw phone numbers on here too before I send it out. If you have questions throughout the championship, feel free to contact your tournament director, your site director. If you can't get a hold of one, you can always call the other. We're all working together as a team. So feel free to make sure you get your questions answered with one of us. Did I hear a hand?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm assuming that the site directors are someone other than the tournament directors.
So some of the tournament directors will be working sites, but we've got about 20 clubs, so we have several different people working at the site.
And you'll be including that info before the event starts, or sending us that info.
When you get there, you just go up to the tournament desk, and your site directors will be there, and you can talk to them when you get there.
Now, the only reason I was asking is I have 2 teams going in separate, a 3-5 and a 4-0, and I won't be at one of them. I'm appointing someone, and I just wanted to let whoever the site director is know to expect this other person.
Okay, so you can shoot one of us an email. Which district are you in?
White.
You're in White. So shoot Esther and Anne Marie an email, and they'll let them know. But also tell your person that's standing in for you to just make sure that the site director there knows. Really, it's just to make sure that we have their phone number and their email address in case we need to get a hold of them. It's not a problem at all. It's just for the communication piece is all.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll start with a few of the kind of normal reminders. Before your first match, please check in 45 minutes early. The others, you don't need to check in quite that early, but that gives us time to give you your player gifts, to give you your match cards, so that you can still then have time to fill them out and turn them into the tournament desk. and we can get them all taken care of. So before your first match of the day, of the weekend, 45 minutes early. And then all other matches, please check in 30 minutes early. Make sure your players are all there, ready to go. We try to get everybody out as close to on time as possible. So if everybody's dressed and ready and we have the ability to get you out a little early, we're going to try to do that so that everything stays on time. All players need to provide a government issued ID. That can be a driver's license. It can be a passport, something just to show that the person that is listed on your match card is the same person that is actually playing. And then please remember there's no coaching of any kind, not from the windows. If one of your players comes off to use the restroom, you can't follow them into the restroom and talk to them about how the match is going. There's no coaching at all. So just be aware of that. And we always tell the players when they go out, if they have any kind of an issue on court or they need to come off the court, they can come straight to the tournament desk. And then we know that they're not chatting with other people. So. For the format, and this might be different than what you have played locally, it is each one is a round robin. You're going to play 2 out of 3 regular sets. That's with add. You have a 10-point Komen tiebreak if you split sets, a 7-point Komen tiebreak if you get to 6-6 in either one of the sets. This is played, there's no time limit. So you're going to play it out until you're completely done. So you don't have to worry about the match ending procedures. You don't have to worry about watching a clock. You're just going to play until you are completely done. You switch on the odd games even after the first game, and you're going to do a 10-minute warm-up that includes your serves. So what we're going to ask that you do, and if you please relay this to your players, that whether they win or lose, we need one player from each team to please come to the tournament desk to report scores. We have the players, we write the score down on the scorecard, and then we have them actually initial so that one person from each team initials, so that when you come up as a captain to sign your scorecard, you know that your players have agreed to the score and there's no question. So it's just kind of an extra step for us, but they can't stay on the court and watch. They need to come straight to the tournament desk and report their scores for us. Did somebody have a question? Okay. For this one too, we're playing two lines of singles and 3 lines of doubles. So yes, go ahead.
Do we play out the deuce points?
Yes, you do play out the deuce points. You sure do.
So it's a 2-point.
Yes.
Okay.
One add, no add?
You play them out. All
Play
as
'em
many as it takes for somebody to win by 2.
I have a question. I don't know if you saw my hand, but so we've been playing first to 5 by 1 as for a set tie break at 6 all. So this is first to 7 by 2.
That's correct. It is. Yes.
Thank you.
And I did put in a little bit later on, there's a hyperlink to kind of important information and documents. There is a document in there on how to do the Komen tiebreak. So if it's not something that you typically do in your local area or your players aren't familiar with it, they can print it out, throw it in their bag. Or if there's any problem on court and somebody needs help with the Komen tiebreak, they can always come to the tournament desk and one of us will come out and help on how to do the switching for the tiebreak.
Yeah, we do it for the 10-point. We do the Komen, but for the 5-point, we just do that 2-2-2-3 and don't switch. So So it sounds like for this, I need to tell them to do the Komen every 4 points for the set tiebreak.
Yes, please do. Yes.
Thank you.
Also, sorry, I joined a little late, so apologies if this has already been asked. But I won't be able to be there the first night as captain, so can I just have someone else check in 45 minutes early?
You sure can. So just have that person, when they come up to the tournament desk, they're going to give your name or your team name and what level they're playing, and just tell them to be sure the site director knows that they're an acting captain for the night, so that we can get their phone number and email address.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
I have a question. For the 2-5 level, just wanted to verify, it's 2 courts of doubles and 1 of singles. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry, you are correct. For 2-5, 5-0, it's one line of singles and 2 lines of doubles. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
I
Christy,
have
you
a
still
question.
have another hand up.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you have a couple hands up still.
Okay.
My question is, we don't need a USTA card, we just need a government issued ID?
That's right. We, if you're playing and you're registered for league, we know that you have a USTA number, so you don't need to bring that. So yeah, just your government issued ID.
Okay.
Can you go over, you mentioned that at one point you play a 10-point and at one point you play a 7-point. Can you just go over that again, please?
So they're both the Komen tiebreak style. So first person
Got it,
serve.
but I just want to know when we go to 10 and when we go to 7, because it sounded
Oh.
like there was a little bit of difference there.
Okay, so if the set in one set it's 6-all, if you're tied at 6-6, you would play the 7-point Komen tiebreak. If you split sets, you're going to play the 10-point instead of playing a full third set.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay. Is that everybody? All the questions?
So far, yep.
Very good.
Christine?
As a reminder, this is a no default championship. So we expect everybody to field all the lines for every match. And it's just the way the regulations have been set. So if an unintended default occurs, meaning something happens, somebody gets hurt, you don't have somebody to fill that line in, we always default from the bottom up. So it would be 2 singles before 1 singles, or it would be 3 doubles before 2 doubles before 1 doubles. If for some reason you default the line, then that line ends up being reversed throughout the entire championship. So anything that you have previously played would be reversed as a win for the other teams, and then you would not play that line in any future matches unless you go to championships. Or I'm sorry, unless you go to like a semis or a finals, and then they're allowed to fill all the lines. So just know that maybe have some extra people there in case somebody gets hurt. Try to have some subs in just in case. You don't want to be defaulting any lines throughout the championship.
Hey, Christy, can I ask a question? This is Kim Bandak. Nina and I were talking before. So the question about if a team advances into playoffs, the line is reset and all lines can be played. So 2 questions. Can a player that has not played on Friday or Saturday play in Sunday if we do advance?
Yes, as long as they have enough matches locally to be involved. Yes.
Okay, got it. So then the next question is, if there's a player that has qualified on 2 teams, a Southern 18 and over and a Northern 18 and over, if they go to districts with 1 team, say the Southern team, they don't advance. They play in districts. They don't advance to playoffs. But the Northern team that they also played on in regular season does advance. Could they play on Sunday, even though they played for districts with their Southern team?
Yes, but there is a caveat.
Uh-huh.
If they played, they would be 2, if they're Northern and Southern, they would be 2 different districts. If they're in the same district, but like say one played Southern, one played Eastern, if they played each other in the same flight, they would not be able to play.
Right, but they did it.
Okay.
So we're playing in Rhode Island and the other part of the team is playing in Farmington, Connecticut. So
Yes, so they would be able to play but they have to choose one, and only if one is out can they play for the other.
right, only if one is out, they can play for the other, but they can play for one team Friday, Saturday. That team doesn't make it. They can come play for me on Sunday.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
You want
Christine,
me to see you there?
question?
Go ahead, Doug.
Hi. 2 questions. 30 minutes before the match, we should have the whole team assembled. Does that apply to an 8 a.m. match?
Okay, so here's my caveat for the 8 a.m. matches. We try to get everybody out so that they start playing at 8 o'clock. That means That means your warm up is done and you're playing at 8. When I tell people to come at 8 o'clock on like come at 7:30 for people show up at 8 and then everything is late. So yes, please come and be ready to play so that we can get everybody out, but not everybody is going to go out. You know, we have to do it in stages. We have to do team by team. So if we can get you guys there and ready to play 30 minutes early, then everything goes much smoother.
So 30 minutes applies to regardless of when the
Yeah.
matches. All right. Second question. Somebody defaults, no fault of their own, but they default a line, say number 3 doubles. Do all number 3 doubles matches therefore get removed from the tournament?
Yes, from that team. Yeah.
Yes, from that team.
Yes.
From that team, right? Okay.
Now, the way it's going to look, if there were already matches played, the way we do it on the back end of Tennis Link, we leave it, it DQs the match, so it's not included in the standings, but we do keep it for NTRP purposes, but it will be removed as one that counts, so that
we lose them.
Mathematical benefit.
So the other teams that didn't default, they just win or lose whatever they record. It just gets dropped off the standings. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Go ahead, Joanne.
Hello. Just back to the default. I mean, I should know this, but it's never happened before. We're a little concerned because Maine is highly trafficked on the weekends and no one is staying over. So it's a personal kind of a question. If someone is late and doesn't get there on time to go out, but I have a spare player, that player would only sub into the person that's not there, correct? I can't change. The lineup is the lineup, right? You have to leave your lineup alone and just sub that person in to whomever maybe doesn't make it on time, if that happens to be the case. Is that correct?
Well, so this is the way it works at championships. So we're going to ask for your lineup 30 minutes early. And when you hand it to your site director, they're going to say to you, is everybody here? And if you say, no, not everybody's here, they're going to hand it back to you and say, wait until everybody's here.
Okay.
Because just for that reason. So say your player calls you and tells you, hey, we're going to be an hour late, then you can just change the lineup and hand it in.
Okay.
Now, if we have a court open and it is the time that your match is supposed to go out, we will start the clock for the time penalties.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So then that would be the time where I would probably want to put another player in if I had one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
One more hand. Carolyn?
Okay.
So that was my question in regards to the lineup all going out at once. I wanted to find out if you waited until all lines were clear before you send out the next opponents, or if you send them out like possibly one by one as the lines clear.
So that kind of is a site by site decision. Ideally, we would like all 5 or 3, depending on what level you are, of your teams to go out at the same time, so you can all play together, you can all kind of be finished together. But if some of your players aren't there or something has happened, we might go to the next match. They also could put on, say, 1 and 2 singles and then 1 and 2 singles of another match. But they'll never put on 2 before 1, they'll never put on 3 before 2. So that's kind of a site director decision, but we do ideally like the whole team to go out together as much as possible. It's our goal. We want everybody to play. I mean, we don't want anybody kind of abusing the time or being late, but we really want everybody to play. It's our job to make sure that the tournament runs and the teams play, and whoever wins then advances and not by technicality. So we're going to do what we can within the regulations to make sure that the matches are out. We have the courts full and that we're going pretty smoothly.
No, as far as you said that there was no time limit initially in this call. Right. So if there's no time limit, and there are 2 sets split, the third set you said is going to be a 7-point tiebreak, right?
The third set would be a 10-point tiebreak.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So so our third set's not played in districts?
We have,
Because I mean, I'm just wondering, like, when do you decide to start the third set, and when do you decide we need to play a tiebreak? You know?
so we don't ever play a third set. It's always a 10-point tiebreak instead of a
Okay.
third set. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Betsy has a question. Betsy, you're on mute, Betsy. Nope, you're still muted, Betsy. You need to unmute. Oops. No, there's a little microphone at the bottom, Betsy, a little microphone button across the bottom of the screen. Or you can type it into the little chat box and we'll answer it for you.
While we're waiting, do you mind if I have a quick question? Ms. Howard.
Go ahead.
Do you know how many courts there are at Rocky Hill? So I know how many people have to show up at the right time.
There are 6 courts.
Perfect. Okay, so the first group will go out all at the same time.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Just a quick comment about the tiebreakers. One way that I've shared with my team is that a set, you have 7-point tiebreaker, SS. If it's the match, then it's the 10-point. So, I just think there's an easy way for everybody to remember.
I love that. That's perfect. Yes.
Okay, just wanted to share
SS. That's right. A set is 7. That's perfect. All right. I'm going to go on, but if Betsy comes on, just pop in and stop me.
Okay.
Yeah, can I make a quick comment about
Betsy came on. Hold on one second, Esther.
okay.
Betsy came on. Go ahead, Betsy.
If we are scheduled for matches, 2 matches on Saturday and 1 on Sunday, does winning the 2 matches on Saturday determine your play on Sunday?
How many teams? It depends on how many teams are in your flight.
No, it does not. It's a flight of 4.
Okay.
So you have to play all the teams.
Yes.
So, yes. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry, Esther. Go right ahead.
Oh yeah, thank you. I just wanted to make a comment regarding the White District. Rocky Hill will not have any matches that are wrapped around where two teams are sent out at the same time. The only clubs that have that in the White District are Farmington Valley Racket Club, because it has 8 courts, and also RFL Simsbury, because it has 4 courts, and at times I think 4-5 women and 3-0 women are playing there. So that will, the 4 lines will have to come out, and then the next line will come in later.
Okay.
But just Rocky Hill, and the rest do not. So that's just, I wanted to make that clear. So if you're scheduled at 8 o'clock at Rocky Hill, expect to be there at 7:30 and go out at 7:45, like Christy had mentioned. Okay.
I just have one more quick question about players checking into the tournament desk upon arrival. Do you need them to do that each time they play, or just the very first time they play?
So the only person we need to come to the tournament desk when they get there is the captain or acting captain. Just tell your players to come find you. When we call them up to actually go out on the court and play, we'll have them meet their opponents. We'll give them their balls. That's when we want their IDs. So they don't need to come check in when they first get there, just whenever they are like 2 seconds from going out on the court to play.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, here's my super gray area information on medical timeouts. Medical timeouts were created very specifically for tournaments that have a referee, roving umpires, and athletic trainers or medical personnel. So the official regulation for medical timeouts is that you get a 3-minute timeout after an assessment. None of us are medical people. None of your site directors, none of your tournament directors, we are not medical people. So we're asking you to give us a little slack when something happens. We're going to go out on the court. We're going to see what happened. We're allowed to give ice, things like that. But if a player gets hurt, once we go out there and talk to them, we will tell them from now till X, you have 3 minutes to decide if you're going to keep playing. And if they think maybe I just twisted my ankle, I'm going to go, they can take their 3 minutes. Technically, it's a maximum of 15 minutes for evaluation plus that 3 minutes. But if you're on court 14 at Winchester, or you're way in the back at Farmington Valley, it might take your staff a little bit longer to get out there. So kind of give a little for that. We will have a staff member that stands out there because there's no coaching during medical timeouts. So somebody will stand on court for that 3 minutes. But no, also, if somebody takes a medical timeout for cramps, say they do it for their left leg, and the next set they have cramps in their right leg, they cannot take another medical timeout for cramps. It's just one medical condition. Bleeding sometimes takes a little bit of extra just for blood cleanup. So just, we're all human. We're trying to do our best, but just know that we are not the medical world, and we're just going to we're going to try to take care of it the best way we can. So is that super unclear?
You
So I have a
have
question.
Caroline, then Helen, then Susan.
Okay.
Carolyn. You're muted, Carolyn. There you go. There you go.
Got that. Nope, that actually answered my question. And I'm sorry I have all these questions, but what you just had mentioned about the medical timeout. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Helen?
Yes, hi. It's related to just a regular timeout. I long ago I played a match, I remember, and in between sets where you can use the restroom upon like asking or letting the players know, like in the middle of the set, after we took about a 5-minute break in between sets because of the heat, our opponent walked off to use the restroom again, and it took them another like 10 minutes. What's the protocol in that with the weather being what it is?
So we will not ever tell anybody they cannot take a bathroom break. If you think that somebody's being coached or they're doing it egregiously, or you think that there's something that's not proper going on, please talk to your site director, and they can go check with the player and see if they're sick or see if there's something else that's going on. But you can take a bathroom break anytime.
Okay, thanks.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Susan.
Yeah. So if somebody is really injured and cannot go back, continue the game, is that game forfeited, or do you get to a point where if you've won X number of games over the other, how does it work?
So that's considered a retirement, and a retirement can happen from right after the warm up, as soon as somebody hits their first serve. If somebody gets injured anytime after that, it's considered a retirement. It does not work the same as a default. It is a retirement. So it gets scored differently in Tennis Link. If Pete's on, he might know a certain number will affect your NTRP and a certain number of games won't. I don't know that number, but yeah, if you have a player that gets hurt, they need to stop playing, tell them they need to stop playing. Don't stay in there and try to, stick it out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rita.
Yeah, so if a player does think they have some kind of injury, are the players then to find a site representative to contact, or are they supposed to just work it out with their opponent? How do you want them to proceed?
Yeah, so if somebody gets hurt on court and they think they're going to need a medical timeout, one of the players on that court just needs to come up to the tournament desk and just say there's an injury on court 8, and one of the tournament staff will come out and talk to you.
Thank you.
And anytime you leave the court for any reason, if you're not done, please leave your rackets on the court so that we don't think you're done and send somebody else out there to play. All right.
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
That's so far.
Yeah, always use your tournament staff and your site directors and your volunteers. We're really there to help keep everything running and running smoothly. We want to answer all the questions. So let your players know we are there to support them in the plays. No, don't be afraid to come up and hang out with us and chat.
Christine?
Yeah.
Hi, Doug Presley again. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do you have a list of all the clubs and what they provide in terms of showers and towels and stuff like that? Because if you call the clubs, you're not always talking with anybody who knows that answer for the tournament.
I don't have a list of that right now, but we could, where are you are you in Southern Connecticut?
Farmington, yeah, going to play at Farmington Valley.
Okay, we'll get together. They have locker rooms and showers there.
Yeah, it's just sometimes they're not open and whatever, so it's good to know in advance.
So for all of our clubs,
Yeah.
everything is open. There are no COVID protocols in place. Everything should be open and usable.
Okay, good. That's helpful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
none of the clubs provide towels. So bring your own towel.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So you guys know that since we don't have officials at any of the sites, your will act as officials in any kind of a code violation situation. So if somebody is being egregious, they're having sportsmanship issues, your site directors are going to handle that. All of the code violations and grievances now that come with points are national points. And if you get 10 points, it is a 3-month suspension. If you get 24 points, it's a 1-year suspension. So this calculation table is just an example. We have filed grievances during championships that have been adjudicated afterwards that have resulted in some points. So please know that we're taking sportsmanship very seriously, and we want to make sure that everything runs really smoothly. So tell your players to be on their best behavior, please. And we don't want to have any code violations or grievances this tournament. I did put a link in here to the suspension points documents for you if you are interested. Okay, so here's our one big change for you guys who are seasoned and know and have played in the 18 districts and sectionals before. So there's something called the 3-strike disqualification, which for self-rated and appeal players, if they play significantly above level in 3 different matches, they can be disqualified and moved up to the next level. And historically, that has been run during the championship. At the bottom on C, I put in the new regulation that was voted on by the section league committee, that now the dynamic calculations are run on Monday after the championship, and then anybody that gets disqualified will be moved up, but the championship matches stand. So just know that if you come off the court and you won, you don't have to wait for that. As we've always done, hold on, wait, we've got to run the report. We're not doing that anymore. If you win, you win. So anybody have any questions about that? I figured we might have some.
Can you explain what that means in terms of them being able to advance? Like, meaning, could they play, let's just take this weekend as an example. So maybe they could play Friday and Saturday, and then could they be disqualified for Sunday?
No, we will run the report on Monday morning. So if your team wins and you happen to have a player that gets disqualified on Monday, they would not be able to go to sectionals.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Is that only for self-rated players? Because if you have someone that has a history of USTA and they're a solid 3-5 and they do win their matches, is it possible? Would it, if that's why I'm wondering, is it just for those players who are on the team that's self-rated at, whatever level they're at, and they're clearly not that level? Or
It's self-rated and appeal rated. So anybody that's got a computer rating, this doesn't happen to at all. It's against national regulations.
okay, so it's not, it's the computer rating that stands, but if it's anybody that comes in, okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, the fun stuff. Our marketing department is always, always, always asking me for pictures. So if you guys take pictures or have some fun pictures or have a great story about your team, please go into New England's Instagram page and direct message them, or you can send it to your tournament director. You can send it to me. We love pictures. We love stories. We're trying to get more out on social media about the league program. I feel like the kids get a lot of it and we don't get a ton. And I just think it would be fun to have some stories about the adult league. So please, please, please take tons of pictures and send them to us and share your story with us. A couple of FAQs. No courts are going to be available for practice before or during the championship. If you would like to practice, you'll need to find courts at other facilities or in public parks. For us, the definition of before the championship on Friday, especially, is 1 hour before the scheduled match time. So if the first match of the day is going out at 3 o'clock, your staff is going to get there at 2. What happens in that club before 2 o'clock, we are not going to monitor. So if you want to rent it's at 8 o'clock in the morning and you've got a 5 o'clock match that night, we're not going to pay attention to that. We just don't have the people to do it. So when we start, from the time we start, an hour before that, then on Saturday, everybody starts at 8, so there won't be any time. Sunday, everybody starts at 8, so there won't be any time earlier. Bathrooms and showers are open and available. There's no COVID protocols. We do still have some people who wear masks, and we have a lot of people who don't, so please be respectful either way. Bring plenty of water and snacks with you. Clear liquids only allowed on court. If something gets spilled, we want to make sure that we can clean it up. It doesn't stain the courts. We appreciate our club owners and managers who are letting us take over the whole place for the entire time. So carry in, carry out. If you got snacks in your bag, please put the trash in your bag and take it out with you. We appreciate that. And then alcohol is not allowed in many of the clubs. It is in some. I don't know which ones it is and which ones it isn't. Some have liquor licenses. So if you want to bring a beer, wine, or whatever, please call the club ahead of time and ask them if that's allowed. That's not going to be a New England thing. That is 100% a club issue. So please make sure you do that. And also, what's not on here as a side note for anybody who hasn't been watching the weather, it's a very strong possibility we're going to get a whole lot of rain this weekend. So please plan ahead as much as possible and try to be there early in case there are any travel issues. This is an FYI. Anybody have any questions?
One more, Christine.
Go right ahead.
Doug Presley. Paint me optimistic. Need 2 matches to qualify to play. They have to play 2 or have a default to qualify to go all the way to the sectionals. But I have to play 4 to qualify for the nationals.
Self-rated players have to play 4. No defaults. They have to have played 4 matches. So yes, please plan accordingly. If you have self-rated players, make sure that they get enough. But for us this year, 2 matches, 1 can be a default. Does not matter what the rating type.
Right. That gets us through sectionals. That's why I said optimistic. Get to the nationals.
Yes,
Thank
very
you.
good.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Kathleen.
Bathroom breaks can happen at any time for any amount of time?
Technically, the answer to that question is yes.
Okay.
But it is very bad sportsmanship to just go hang out in the bathroom for 30 minutes. So
Gotcha.
that's why I say if something feels egregious, if something doesn't feel right, please tell your site director so that they can, go check it out. Somebody might be sick. We don't know, but we definitely don't want them just, taking advantage of the time. We also want to keep the tournament running on time. So we don't want a lot of time lapsed unless there's something going on that needs to be handled.
Okay, so over 10 minutes, you might find out what's going on.
I would, yeah, I would pop over and grab one of the site directors.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay. So, these links will be on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send out this
Christy,
report.
you have more questions.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Amy, then Ken, then Lydia.
Thank you, Laura. So this is the first year our team has made it to districts, which is exciting. So sorry for this question, but I want to make sure I'm clear. So you have a 3-0 team and the player roster have been 3-0 players, but in December, somebody was moved up to a 3-5, but they were able to continue to play on the 3-0 team with the new rules. Can they play on the 3-0 team for districts if they're up to a 3-5 from the December ratings?
They cannot, no.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ken?
Somebody else?
Ken, did you have a question? I think you're muted. No?
Okay.
Lydia?
Yes, thank you. Actually, you brought up a good point. You said it might rain this weekend. There were actually 2 Winchester clubs that were housing USTA league play. One was the Winchester Indoor Lawn Club, Indoor Tennis Club, and the other was the Winchester Swim and Tennis Club, which is an outdoor. I'm assuming, bad choice of words, I'm sure, that this is the indoor tennis club, the larger facility with the 2. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's the Winchester Indoor Tennis. Everything for districts is indoors. Everything.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Thank
we had
you.
trouble with our settings, so now I think our
Okay, there you are.
microphone- Okay.
Go ahead, Ken.
I'm actually with another captain. We're sharing the connection. So Julian is the 4-5 captain. He has the question.
Hi. For as long as I can remember until this season, when you played a match and you won 3-2, 4-1, or 5-0, that was considered a 1-0 record. And starting this season, at least in our pool, if we won a match 3-2, we earned 3 points. The opponents earned 2 points. Same for if we won 4-1, we earned 1 and lost, and the other team earned a point. If we lost 5-0, obviously the other team earned 5 points, so we had 0. I'm curious, in the district format, is it head-to-head? So, for example, we play 3 matches. If we win our first match, is that 1-0? Or if we win the match 3-2,
1-0.
is it 3 points for us, 2 points for the other team? Thank you.
Everything for championships is a team win, so it would be 1-0.
So it's just as long as you win 3 matches, you get the point, and that's it.
That's correct. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I have second question real quick. We're playing in Rhode Island. I wanted to know, are all 5 of those courts available at once, or is that a setup where you have 3 matches and then 2 matches? Can you please explain the layout for Rhode Island, please?
East Bay and West Bay, I guess.
Charlie, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on. It depends on when matches get off, because these are all timed matches, but there are no wraparounds at East Bay and West Bay. If you're playing a match later on during the day, you're probably not all going to go out at this. Hopefully it's close to the same time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I have a question about the scoring. So a little different. So if you win a match 3-2, or if you win a match 4-1, you still get 1 point. However, if there's a tie, doesn't the individual how many individual
First tiebreak.
That is the first tiebreak. Yes.
But winning 4-1 is better than winning 3-2 if you come to a tiebreak.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so you do want to win. You don't want to give it up. Okay, thank you.
Rita?
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to make sure I heard this earlier, and I heard it correctly. For the 3 5s, it's 2 singles and 3 doubles, right? For each match.
That's correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Joanne.
There.
Did you have your hand up, Joanne?
Yes, I did. I was muted. Sorry. So just, I kind of, it's a similar question to one that was just asked. Laura, you may, I think, are you going to be at Falmouth, Fourside Fitness?
Nope.
No. Okay.
No.
They have,
Davey is at Fourside.
okay. They have 6 courts. I called there today just to find out. I guess they have renovations, and we needed to know if the viewing area was going to be available. So we figured that out. But one of the captains up there actually answered the phone, so that was interesting. We had a good chat. So they mentioned that that 6th court might be just utilized for pickleball net storage. And my question is, to move things along, would they consider using the court just to keep the matches moving? Pickleball nets aren't very big. Can they put them somewhere else? I don't know who makes that decision and if that's actually a thing. But I was just wondering if, because, there is going to be like this traffic issue, especially with that weather. I think we're all a little concerned because we're not staying up there because it's very expensive. So I'm just wondering if that's a possibility.
It actually is. Davey was there yesterday, just
Mhm.
so that you know, and I met with Davey up in Maine today.
Okay.
She went and looked at the pickleball nets are coming down, and then they had barrier nets between the courts, and that someone had said that they weren't going to move those, but they're basically pickleball nets on wheels. They're being moved. So everything will be stored back behind the stanchions, behind the curtains, and we
Awesome.
plan on
Okay.
having 6 courts.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay.
You're
Great.
welcome. Ken is next, I think, again. You still have your hand up, Ken? Nope. I see your head. Nope. Okay, then Naboku.
Laura, I missed the first few minutes of the meeting, and so we used to we had to fill out in a lineup form for local league. How about for districts? Is there a form that we can download, or how do we fill out lineups?
So when you get there, when you first get there before your first match, 45 minutes early, you're going to get a little tote bag with some things in it, and in there will be an envelope, and it will have your blank scorecards. So you just will check at the top. It'll have your team name, and it'll have a date and a time and a match number. So yeah, you just fill those out. They're already cut and ready for you.
Right. And I have another question. So for talking about weather, they're talking about rain this weekend, and we are home team, so hopefully we have no problem. But is there going to be any leniency for lateness for other our opponents from traveling from other states?
So that ends up being a site director and tournament director kind of game time decision. For instance, a few weeks ago when we were in Northern Connecticut for the mixed 40s, there was a huge pile up on, I think it was 84 or something, and everybody was late. So we want to keep the tournament running on time, and we don't want somebody just, going for ice cream down the street, and that's why they're late. So we try to take all of those things into consideration. It is our job to get everybody playing, but we will put people on the spot if it looks like there's going to be a problem.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Betsy?
Are all matches inside or outside?
Everything's inside.
Okay. Thank you.
I think those are all your questions so far, Christy.
Okay. So I sent you guys this as a PDF. It's going to have some hyperlinks in it. The captain's Facebook page. We have a captain and player hub that has everything from local league information to captain information to championship information. So pop around on that. The one that's the important documents, your regulations, this link is a live link. So if anything changes, this link is what you go to look for schedules. I put in information about heat, hydration. I put in the Komen tie break, the regulations. So just click on your area and it should have all of those documents. You're more than welcome to share this with all of your players. There's lots of great information in there. So please just keep that link with you and keep it, it'll be live. We have an online store, which has all sorts of gear. We have captain gear, we have USTA gear, and 10% of every purchase from the USTA New England online store goes back to our Tennis and Education Foundation, which goes to kind of support our kids programs in some underserved areas. So we always want to support our online store, and that's really about it. So, and then we say, let's tennis. Oh, wait, where'd my slide go?
We have a question from Helen.
Okay, go ahead, Helen.
Sorry, you mentioned that link, but this presentation didn't actually show the link. Can you put it in the comments somewhere?
Which one are you looking for?
You said where a schedule may be updated by section.
Which
is there?
are you?
I'm not able to click on it, so.
Well, when I send it to you, you will, but I can put it in the chat. Or which?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Whichever link you said would have the most updated schedule if there was any change.
Okay, so each one is different. So it's are you White District?
Yes.
Yeah. You can also this will be on you can also shoot it out to your tournament director. They can send it to you also.
Christy, you're going to be
This
sending this
thank you.
presentation to us, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to send it to you, and I'm going to send the recording as well as the PowerPoint.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Ken. Oh, I did. I think you're on mute, Ken. Oh, you're still.
I'm sorry.
You are.
I got hit by accident.
Famous last words.
Sorry, folks.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't count as a default or any penalty points.
That does not count. No penalties given for
Okay.
that.
Just
None.
making
Nope.
sure. I didn't check all the.
I promise not to file a grievance against you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Go ahead, Brittany.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, great. So I'm acting captain for the 18 plus Massachusetts 3.0 flights. And I know there was a few teams that dropped out and there was some reshuffling. Do you know, like, are the current schedules pretty final or do you expect more shuffling? I just want to make sure we're getting enough subs ready just in case we have to rejigger more.
Yeah, I don't expect any more changes.
You don't?
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't expect any more changes.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think somebody had a question about the payment. When you paid as a captain through the registration link, that's the only payment you have to make. Your players don't have to pay at the clubs. That pays for all the court time. It pays for the balls. So they don't need to bring any money for courts at all. Go ahead, Maria.
Thanks, Christy. Since one of our flights, one of the teams fell out of our flights, but I'd already prepaid, do you know how long it's going to take to get reimbursed for that payment?
I'm going to try to hit all my refunds by Friday. We have a finance department, so sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but I'm going to try to do that. Cross my fingers. I'm going to try to do that on Thursday, hopefully by Friday.
Well, I'll see you on Thursday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can harass me on Thursday about it. There we go.
Christy, there is a message in the chat asking if you could go over calling lets when a ball rolls onto another court. Do you call a let if it looks like it might be dangerous to those players, or do you keep silent?
Okay, so here is the actual rule.
Whether you're winning point.
No, you can only call a let on your court. Here is the human part. I don't want to watch anybody break their ankle. So if I think somebody's going to step on a ball, I'm going to call it. But officially, according to the rule, you are not supposed to. So if that's kind of a judgment call for you, because you're not supposed to call a let on anybody else's court officially. But most of the clubs have curtains, so there shouldn't be a lot of that. But just know if somebody does think you're going to step on a ball and they call a let, know that they had your safety in mind and don't just call it a hindrance and play the point over, and think everybody is in good faith trying to do the right thing. Okay, what else do we have, you guys? Okay, well, I'm gonna let you guys go then. Have safe travels. Good luck at all the clubs I'm not going to be at, and talk to your tournament director, talk to your site directors, let them know. If you've got new people, have them tell the site directors that they're new so that we can go over anything that we might not, just in case. And can't wait to see you guys this weekend.
Thank you, Christine.
Great weekend, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Very helpful. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.